and welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you for such an overwhelming response on my last video, and I'm pretty much sure that every one of you have a lot of questions that are going through your mind when you saw my video. And I think majority of the questions that I got on my mail were related to placements. So I think that kind of forced me to make a detailed video on how the placement scenario at IBS looks like. So I think this is the video where I'll be explaining what exactly placement scenario looks like, what kind of companies that come, how many students they hire. I'll show you an Excel sheet related to that, and I'll also tell you what are the process that are generally followed by the companies to hire the students from the campus. So let's just begin the video then. So first of all, related to me, I got placed in KPMG India. So there are two KPMGs. One is KPMG Global Services and second is KPMG India. Both of these visit our campus. So KPMG Global Services is a cost center. It's a subsidiary to KPMG UK, which basically KPMG UK outsources its audit functions and all the other duties to KPMG India to kind of reduce costs. And KPMG India is a profit center, which is directly a client-facing job. So here we'll be interacting with clients and making business for the company. So these are completely two different types of jobs. KPMG Global Services is kind of a desk job where you will sit on a desk and work on your computers, while KPMG India is a client-facing job where you interact with the clients and you get the deals done. So that was pretty much about KPMG India versus KPMG Global Services. Now what the process looked for me. So my process actually had 3 rounds. The first was a psychometric test. A psychometric test involved around 50 to 60 questions related to a lot of things, and we had a Likert scale on which we had to choose whether we agreed to the statement or whether we disagreed to the statement. And on the basis of that, the shortlisting was done, and close to 23 people from finance team was shortlisted. Though I definitely feel that one of the major criteria for getting shortlisted was also having a CGPA over 9. What I saw was all the people that were selected in finance stream, they all had a CGPA above 9. So I guess this is an advantage in case you have a 9+ CGPA, especially for companies that are coming early in the early stage of the placements. Like for example, this happened for CRISIL as well. A lot of people who were shortlisted in CRISIL had a CGPA above 9. So I guess this is also one criteria which is not mentioned anywhere, but it is an unspoken criteria. After that, we had a second round, which was known as technical round. Here I was asked questions related to the JD that was provided. So I have a job in DE Oracle team, which is Digital Enablement Oracle. We basically implement the Oracle for our clients and help them learn and modify Oracle on the basis of their needs and requirements. And so basically the interview revolved around these areas. I was asked questions related to ERP systems, what I knew about ERP, what has been my experience of ERP. So a lot of BPI related questions. You will have a subject in semester 3 known as Business Process Integration, which will teach you SAP. So there were a lot of questions related to that. A lot of questions related to my CV. If I have done anything specific course, a specific course I have done and I mentioned it in my CV, a question related to that would be asked, and it is a very common question that is being asked. A lot of my interview revolved around the entrepreneurial experience I've had previously, and it may be the same case for you if you have any sort of job experience in the past. Also, majority of the questions were also related to the SIP that we did. A very common question is, what was your SIP experience? And I think you have to explain that answer in very brief and very detailed as well. You have to be brief and detailed. So I think that is one criteria for having a good interview round. And I think pretty much the common aspect they saw in each one of us was how confident we were when we were answering. So I think that sailed me through the technical round. And the final round was the HR round, where I think a lot of questions that were related to our strengths and weaknesses, they kind of put us at a test where they asked questions like what are our strengths, how can we deal with pressure, can we put in extra hours if needed, questions like these, what are our achievements. Like for example, I was asked a question, what makes me the best candidate out of all the people that are appearing. So I guess questions like these you have to prepare in advance. I think what I realized was pretty much all of the interview process, you could have pre-prepared yourself before going to the interview, because a majority of the questions were something that you might expect would come to you. So I think you can actually prepare for interviews in advance by preparing questions or by preparing answers which are of common questions. Like there are a lot of common questions which you know will be asked. So prepare them well in advance, and that will help you sail the boat. And I think That pretty much ends the process. Out of the 23 people that were shortlisted, 8 people have been selected by KPMG India in the finance stream, and in total 16 people have been selected across all the three streams that KPMG India came for, which is supply chain management, HR, and finance. So that ends the KPMG India's process. Talking about all the other companies, so every company has their own way of doing the process. Some companies have 5 rounds, some companies have literally 2 to 3 rounds. Some companies don't even shortlist and they just go without hiring anyone. So like for example, KPMG Global Services have had a very long process. Like they also had an aptitude test. Then there was CV shortlisting. There was 2 rounds of technical interviews, 1 round of HR. So I think that pretty much depends on company to company. Now talking about what kind of companies come for what kind of streams. So the majority hire at IBS Hyderabad is the Big Fours. Big Fours cater to almost 300-350 people. Like this year, Deloitte has hired close to 90 people. And KPMG Global Services has come 5 to 6 times for different profiles. And in total, I think they have also hired somewhere around 50 people. There is EY which came. EY also hired a good number of people. PwC came. PwC came 2 to 3 times as well, and they hired a lot of people. So Big Four is a major recruiter at IBS. Apart from that, majority of the IBS placements are dominated by IT companies. Like you'll see Wipro hiring a lot of people. Wipro close to hire I think 30-35 people if I'm not wrong. Then there was Cognizant which hired a lot of people. Capgemini hired a lot of people this year. I think it was 50 plus people they hired this year, which was which was a very good thing for the college, and they offered a very huge package as well. I think it was somewhere around 9.5. It was a really good package. And apart from that, Accenture is a very good option for people who have had experience. I think Accenture, Capgemini, Wipro, these companies actually cater to the experience that you have had in your past. Like for example, if you're someone who has had experience of 1 to 3 years or 5 years for that matter, so these companies, what they do is they add 1.5 lakhs for every year of experience to the package. Like for example, if they're offering 8.5 to the fresher, they'll offer you 1.5 lakhs extra for every year of work experience that you have had. So that is a very good thing. I think these, and talking about all the streams in general, fine. So it's not like that there are specific companies for coming for specific streams. Yes, there are some companies which come for specific streams only, but a lot of companies are there which comes for multiple profiles, and that is why you see a lot of companies hiring for all the streams. Like for example, when we talk about Big Fours not only come for finance. Like we have this notion that they'll come for finance students only. It's not like that. They hire people for operations, they hire people for HR, and they hire people for finance as well. And like for example, when you name out companies which are IT companies, they come for all sorts of profiles. They offer I think 10 to this year I think Capgemini offered close to 9 to 10 profiles. So I think it's not like that a specific company is coming for some specific profile only. Like but also there are some companies, like for example, when we talk about JP Morgan, CRISIL, Bank of America, or you talk about Barclays, these are the specific companies which are coming for finance profile only. And this is the same case for marketing as well. There are some companies which are only pro marketing and pro HR as well. Like for example, when we talk about Vedanta, which is the I think biggest paycheck provider of HR at IBS Hyderabad. So you know that these companies are specifically coming for HR only. So it happens like that. And I think this year the average package has increased. I saw it on Google that it stands somewhere around 8.5, 8.6, and I can very well affirm that that is the case. I have seen most of my friends getting placed up at a very good range of package, and some of them have even crossed the double-digit mark. And I think that's a very good thing. IBS has improved in terms of package, and I think the ROI for our batch was very nice. Now a lot of you have this question whether a 19 lakh fees is worth it in terms of placements. Now, paying 19 lakhs is worth it or not. I think it depends on the options you have. First of all, that is the major criteria. If you have options at your end, you have to analyze the ROI. And analyzing an ROI, it's not just the ROI. It's not like that. For example, you know that there is this college which is taking 12 to 13 lakh fees and providing you a package of 8 to 9 lakhs. No, you don't have to exactly go to that college if you have just checked out the ROI. You have to also check what kind of companies that are coming to the college and what is the sector that hires from that college majorly. Because for example, if you land up a college which has a fees that is lower than IBS Hyderabad, but you end up in a company where you see that the growth potential is not that high. So you may not be want to be a part of that college itself. So you have to also check the kind of companies that are coming. Second option, you also have to check that you have time on your hand. If you have time on your hand, I would suggest go and try for better marks and try for better options in case you are wanting to pursue MBA and you have time. Now, a third thing is, if you have no option and only IBS Hyderabad is the best option you are getting, then I think definitely the college is worth it, because what I have seen from recent experiences, the college average package has continuously grown, and the kind of companies that are coming to college right now, they are extremely good. You won't see this kind of companies coming to a tier B college, or you could say a lower tier A college, like it is in IBS Hyderabad. Goldman Sachs, Barclays, JP Morgan, etc. All these companies hire from our college. So I think that's a very big plus for the college. And I think in that case, IBS is one of the most differentiated college in terms of this, because you don't see these companies coming to every college. Now there is one more company, which is Polaram Group, which offers around 54 lakhs this year, and they took 3 students. You won't see these kind of companies coming to other B schools which are at same level at IBS Hyderabad. So in those terms, IBS Hyderabad is definitely the best choice, and it is definitely worth it. Though it depends on all the circumstances, which may stand individual to individual. Now I would show you the Excel sheet where I have jotted down some data. It is not the complete data, but I think it would help you out a lot. Thank you.
So here I would like to show you the kind of companies that have come to the college and the number of students they have hired. So here, as you can see, that talking about finance, we have 376 people who have got placed. This is an outdated data. It's not the right data that is true in terms of present. I was not able to complete this data. I found it somewhere. So a total of 442 students actually had majors in finance. Then 41 students had majored in operations, 571 in marketing, and 110 in HR. So let's see these are the companies that have come to the college. So it's kind of in the calendar year order itself. Like we saw in the placement started in September itself. So as we see that Tata AIG came and it hired 12 students. Then EY came for SAP profile, which hired 9 students. KPMG India came, that is my company, 16 students. Then CRISIL was there, SmartCube was there, JPMC came, NoCraft Analytics, Capgemini gave PPO to 2 students, JPMC gave PPO to 5 students, Cognizant gave PPO to 5 students, Fruitlay came, Transcend came, EY came for risk consulting profile, Wipro was there, Aditya Birla, Wipro, like you can see the number of profiles Wipro came here. It's around 4 now. And 7 people got hired in Seance. 1 person got PPO for Nephro Plus. IDFC first came, hired 12 students. KPMG Global here came for the first time and hired 12 students. Then it came for the second time and it hired 15 students. CRISIL also gave PPO to 2 students. So as you can see, Genpact came, it hired 10 students. Goldman Sachs came, Goldman Sachs hired 5 students. Planet Spark hired 2 students. Deloitte USI hired 23 students. Deloitte Tax Consulting hired 8. Then you see the number of profiles Deloitte even came for, and it had multiple people in those profiles. So it happened like that. There was Sapiens, Bank of America hired 9 people, Kudos Finance, Accenture hired 15 people, Cognizant hired 8 to, like you can see, as 14-15 people. Bank is also a very major dominator of IBS placement. Like you can see, ICICI Bank has hired 49 people here. There are these also companies which did not hire anyone, like CCFC did not hire anyone. Gajrapai hired 2 people. ANZ had hired 2 people. It is also a bank. CBRE hired, it is a real estate company which hired 8 people. Kotak Mahindra Bank also hired 8 people. Oracle also came, it hired 6 people. So you see that there are many companies that are coming and they are hiring for different profiles. So this was pretty much the question of
placements at IBS, and I think I would take a leave. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you like the content. If you like the content, do follow and do subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.